Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Johnny and welcome to another Honkai Star Rail video. In today's video, let's review Silver Wolf's kit and determine if she's worth the investment since Stellar Jade is pretty valuable. She brings a very interesting and unique mechanic that could change how teams are built, and because of it, many might be wondering if she's worth pulling for. Now, without any further ado, let's jump right into it. First, let's go over Silver Wolf's kit to get a better understanding of how she works. While reviewing, we'll be using level 10 abilities to showcase the character's full potential outside of Eidolon, so certain values may change depending on your trace level. As a Quantum Nihility character, Silver Wolf will be applying debuffs towards opponents. Where she really shines though is with her skill, and you can always tell how important an ability is when they have an essay as a description. Her skill allow changes, has an 85% base chance to add one weakness of an on-field ally's type to the target enemy. Keep in mind that it mentions target enemy, which means the skill is a single target attack. When the skill successfully implants a weakness, it also reduces the enemy's damage resistance to that weakness type by 20% for 2 turns. A couple things to note though is that if Silver Wolf didn't implant a weakness type to an enemy, whether it's the RNG factor of the ability or the enemy already having your entire party's weakness type, then the damage resistance shred will not apply. Each enemy can only have one weakness type implanted, and when the skill is used again on the same target, then only the most recent will be applied, meaning it will overwrite the previous implant. Because of this, you'd want to build your party with as little types the enemy is not weak to as possible to increase the chance of applying the weakness that you want. For example, a common tank and healer currently in the game are Fire MC and Natasha, since everyone has access to these characters. If the player was facing an enemy that was already weak to fire and physical and not to quantum, such as the Doomsday Beast, then bringing a main DPS like Zilla will be fantastic for this battle because Silver Wolf will be guaranteed to apply quantum weakness, so long as you don't miss. The skill, however, will be less effective against an opponent that's innately weak to your main DPS, such as Kakolia in Zilla's case, since you won't get the 20% damage resistance shred. This is partially mitigated though by the skill's 100% base chance to reduce all type resistance to the enemy by 10% for 2 turns, and does 196% quantum damage based on Silver Wolf's attack. This is a very powerful skill and makes it so no matter what, Silver Wolf will always shred the enemy's resistance for your party to deal more damage. Of course, to fully benefit from the skill, you'd have to be creative and play around the enemy's weakness to get the extra shred, but it's nice that the skill itself will have built-in shredding. If you guys play Genshin Impact, then a great example of how good this skill is would be comparing it to the artifact set called the Viridescent Venera, which has the same shredding effect minus the RNG factor, and we all know how busted Vivi is. Her ultimate user band costs 110 energy to use, which is pretty average and low cost for a support character. When used, there is a 100% base chance to decrease the target's defense by 45% for 3 turns and deals quantum damage equal to 380% of Silver Wolf's attack. Definitely easier to understand and more straightforward, but still strong since reducing an enemy's defense will always be useful. Her ultimate is very similar to Payla's, but reduces more defense at the price of being single target. Her talent awaiting system response will have a 72% base chance to implant a random bug that lasts for 3 turns when Silver Wolf attacks. There are 3 different types of bugs that will reduce either attack by 10%, defense by 8%, and speed by 6% respectively, and can stack until the end of the individual duration. This is unfortunately not something that players can control in terms of applying specific bugs, but still a little nice add-on to the overall shredding that she already has. And lastly, her technique, Force Crit Program, will attack the enemy and upon entering battle deals 80% quantum damage based on Silver Wolf's attack to all enemies, ignoring weakness types and reducing toughness. If an enemy is broken during this time, then the quantum weakness break effect will trigger, and if you're unsure what the break effects do, then check out our ultimate guide to types and paths where we go in depth with each one. This is honestly a really good technique for when the enemy doesn't have quantum weakness, because if you manage to break the enemy, then your party party will deal more damage since the enemy's toughness will be gone. The Quantum Weakness Break also delays the enemy and deals more damage when you attack them, so it'll deal a nice chunk of damage. As a Stellaron hunter and professional hacker that's on the Interastral Peace Corporation's wanted list, Silver Wolf really lives up to her name. Her entire kit revolves around in some way cheating by adding and implanting weaknesses and bugs that enemies do not have to make an ineffective team to be effective. Due to her skill's ability to apply weakness, I can see Silver Wolf being very future-proof since she can enable main DPS characters to deal more damage. She is a character that will require a lot of creativity to maximize her potential and also on the enemy's weaknesses, so there will be times where she will be less effective, but if the conditions are right, then she will be monstrous for setting up the team. Bringing only one or two types the enemy is not weak to would be the most ideal, and in those situations you should split the party evenly between those two types so you can break the enemy more effectively no matter what weakness type is applied. As more quantum characters are released, running a mono quantum team would be insanely strong, especially if they aren't weak to quantum, and even if they are, then you can run any monotype team that the enemy isn't weak to since there's only one weakness to apply. You also can't forget about all the other debuffs that she applies, even if you aren't able to set up the weaknesses properly, making her a valuable debuffer in any situation. While she is RNG reliant, building effect hit rate will help minimize the chance of enemies resisting. If you're an F2P player like myself, then you'll have the perfect light cone for her called Before the Tutorial Mission Starts at Super Imposition 5, so long as you participate in the new event Star Hunt game that will increase the wearer's effect hit rate by 40% and regenerate 8 energy when they attack a defense reduced target, which she is able to do with her ultimate and potentially with one of her bugs. A fantastic light clone for F2P players to have Silver Wolf or honestly, any Nihility character. Personally, I'm gonna be pulling for Silver Wolf because I think she has a lot of potential to help a lot of teams become viable. I also have Zila on my Stella account who I think will pair really well together. Kinda stings because I just recently got Branya on the standard banner guys who I absolutely love, but I'm interested to compare different teams and it's always nice to have a buffer and debuffer. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to smash that like and subscribe button. Don't forget also to turn that notification bell so you don't miss on any newly released videos. I've been Johnny D. Until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next one.